Hello, in this tutorial we are going to learn about index function. Index function returns the value from a data range from a particular column and particular row. So this function is somewhat similar to a VLOOKUP function. So let's take an example and let me show you how this function works. So let us say we have a data table or a range of data here, and this table has got 4 columns. The first column consists of product code. The second column is product name. The third column gives you the unit sold, and the fourth column gives you the unit price corresponding to each particular product. And let us say one more thing before I start using the index function. If this is our table, then you see this number here on the leftmost column. They are the row number of each row within the table. Now these numbers are the relative row position, not the absolute row number. So for example, product 5 is in the row number 6 of this table. If this is our table, and if we go into the first row, this is our first row, but the absolute value of that row is row number 3. Therefore, product number 4 in absolute term is in row number 7, but in relation to this table, product 4 is in row number 5, because the first row is product name, the second row contains product 1, the third row contains product 2, the fourth row contains product 3, and the fifth row contains product 5. Similarly, unit sold is in the third column and product name is in the second column. Unit price is in the fourth column of this table. Whereas if you look at this, the absolute value of this column, this unit price is in column E, which in absolute term is the fifth column in this entire sheet. But we are not using the absolute values, we are using relative values in the index function. So that you need to keep in mind. So let's go to in this cell I4 and start using index function. So what we want is we want to return this function the unit sold for let's say product 4. So we want what is the unit price for product number 4, and when we come in this table we see product number 4 and unit sold is 26, and that is what we want the formula to return here. So we say equal to, because that's the way you will start typing in the formula. You have to type in equal to, and then you will start typing the formula name, and the formula is the function name, and the function is called index. So we say I and index, and the first one that pops up is the index, and it also have the description here. It says it returns a value or reference of a cell at the intersection of a particular row and column in a given range. So this function will ask you for 3 different parameters. The first parameter it will ask you is where is the data range, the entire data range. Then it will ask you in the entire data range that we have specified in which row it has to look up, and then it will say in which column. So first let's select the index function. Now there are 2 ways in which we can use this function, and the first one where we have to specify the array and the row number and the column number. The first method is the most commonly used method. So now we need to specify the array or the entire data range. So index, and then we say this is our entire data range from B3 to E13. So we have specified the location of the entire data range. Next, after entering comma, it is highlighting at row number 3. Sorry, it's highlighting for the row number. So we need to specify in this array that we have specified in which row it has to look up the value. And the row that we are interested should be the row where we have product number 4. And product number 4 is in row number 5. So we say in row number 4. and then we enter comma, and now we have to specify the column number. Now we have specified the row, which is row 5th in this table. Now we need to specify the column, from which column it has to pick up the value, and we are interested in unit sold, and unit sold is in the 3rd column. The first column is product code, the second column is product name, and the 3rd column is unit sold. So we need to say 3rd as column reference, and then we close the bracket, and the answer that it comes up is 26, and that we have already verified that in this table product 4 is in the 5th row and its unit sold is in the 3rd column, which is here in cell D5. So D5 gives us the value of unit sold for product number 4. Now what if let's say we are interested to find out what is in row number 7 and column number 1. So we just change the reference to the row. We make the row number 7 here, and we change the column from 3 to 1, and let's see what do we get. So what we are getting as output is SFS D445, which is in row 7 and column 1, which is the product code. So instead of having this as a hard-coded number here, the row and column reference, we can make it variable also, or dynamic. So we say index, the first one is the array, and the array is this entire data table or data range, which is fine. Now for the row number, we say pick the row value from cell H4, and for the column number, pick the value from H5. Now this will make it slightly more flexible, and now we get the value 26, which means this function is returning the value from row number 5th and column number 3 of this table, and the value that it returns is 26. Now you can play around by changing the row and column number. Let's say we say column number 4 and row number 7, and the value changes to 46. So in this table, in row number 7, which is here, and column 4 is this one, and the 46, that is what you get here as an outcome. So index function in nutshell tells you the value from an array, which can be a 2-dimensional or 1-dimensional array, and picks the value from the intersection of the row and column that you specify. That's how simple it is. Now one thing to note is if you input certain parameter which is invalid, then you will get an error. And let's say I enter the column here, I'll keep the row the same 7, but the column I say column number say 6, and now what we get is a ref error, and this ref error is because it is trying to find out in this table B3 to E13 7th row, which it has found here, and then it goes to H5 or the column value 6. Now there is no 6th column in this table, there are only 4 columns. That's why it's not able to find out anything, and it has come up with a reference error. Let's say I give it a correct column column number 2. Now the 7th row and 2nd column is product 6. 7th row and column 2 is product 6. But what if I give it say 14th row? Again, ref error, because there is no 14th row in this table. So you need to be a little careful when you are referencing the row and column number in the index function. But even if you are not careful, when you get the result, you'll be forced to look into the formula and check what has gone wrong there. So this is all about index function. In the next video, I'll show you how to use index function in a different way.